November 28, 2023 Urbandale City Council meeting. I will call the meeting to order and ask Nicole to take roll call, please.
Blake.
Here.
Carberry Montgomery.
Here.
Kroll.
Here.
McBurney.
Here.
Obrecht.
Here.
All right, thank you. Please stand as you're able for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Urbandale is a national leader in character counts, endeavoring at all times to promote and model the principles of trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. In conducting tonight's meeting, we expect that all participants will act in a respectful manner consistent with these principles. Item 2 is to approve the agenda. Ask for a motion.
So move.
Motion by Blake, second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote.
I'm gonna let you have it all. And second. Can you do that?
What?
You can't do both, can you?
No. No. All right, that passes. Item 3 is citizens forum. This is your opportunity to address the council on something not a part of tonight's agenda. Would anyone like to address the council this time? No? All right, moving on then. Item 4, adoption of minutes. First is the minutes from the November 14 meeting.
Move approval of the minutes of the November 14th city council meeting.
Motion by Carberry Montgomery,
Second.
second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote.
I thought he wasn't here, so
Oh,
that's why I did it.
that passes. And then from the minutes from the lunch and learn on November 21.
So moved.
Motion by Kroll,
Second.
second by Carberry Montgomery. Discussion, please vote. All right, that passes. Item 5 of the consent agenda, we do have 16 items on the agenda for approval.
Move approval of the consent agenda.
Motion by Blake,
Second.
second by Kroll. Discussion, excuse me, please vote. That passes. All right. Moving on then to public hearings, we do have one public hearing, and that is the public hearing and consideration of bids for 100th Street Adaptive Signal Control. The public notice for this was published in the November 10, 2023 Des Moines Register, and ask any objections to that notice is published.
There were none.
Ask for a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Blake,
Second.
second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. All right, that passes. And then to introduce us is our Director of Engineering and Public Works, John Larson. John?
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. This is our bid tabulation for the 100th Street Adaptive Signal Control Project. Last Tuesday, the Iowa DOT received bids on our behalf for the project. We're recommending the low bid from Iowa Signal in the amount of $28,392.00. Fortunately, the bid was significantly less than our engineer's estimate. And with the project, we'll be installing the new signal software on 5 different intersections on 100th Street. We'll still need to purchase the actual firmware for roughly $85,000, but what we bid out was getting all the loop detections, camera detection, all that part of the system up and running. Where this system's a little different than our normal signals are, we've got set timings and there's an offset on when it turns to green as the loops are detected. This new system uses more of a software-based where it monitors all the intersections, all the different loops being detected, and works on trying to come up with, kind of an adjusted plan as that traffic is moving through. So again, this will be the first one that we've done on our own in Urbandale, so we'll see how this one goes. We did also receive Iowa's Clean Air Attainment Program grant funding in an amount up to $144,000. That is an 80-20 match. Since we got really good bids, we won't use the whole amount, but again, we will have an overall project savings. And we're anticipating the work being done by June of next year. And then just to quickly show, again, we're going on 100th Street from Plum Drive up to 54th Avenue. With that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
The grant covers the firmware portion of it too.
Correct. Yep.
Any questions for John?
So you said this was the first adaptive that we have in the city?
In Urbandale, we did a joint project with Clive on Hickman Road.
And then how, I mean, I'm assuming this is something we would like to adapt later on. How long do you need to have this there before you would implement it in other places?
It's in the CIP in some different years coming up in the next couple of years. So my plan was likely wouldn't get grant funding every year. So I've kind of spaced it to every couple of years, hoping that we could get the grant funding.
That's it.
Do we have any other ones that we can apply jointly for that can give us a better chance to get the ICAP funding and all? Or?
Like I said, we've got some on Douglas. We've got some in the CIP on Meredith. For some reason I was thinking there's one more I'm not thinking of, but again, I was just, like I said, trying to space because there's only so much ICAP money that, again, it's rare that a community gets it every year.
Yep.
So.
All right, any further questions for John? All right. This item is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the council on this item? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing? Motion by Blake, second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. Got 3 items for approval.
Move resolution 233-2023.
Motion by Blake,
Second.
second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. Passes.
Motion resolution 234-2023.
Motion by Blake, second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Motion for approval resolution 235-2023.
Motion by Blake, second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. And that passes. All right, thank you. Moving on. Item 7 is to establish a public hearing for the December 12th meeting on the comprehensive plan. John Conyer would answer any questions if there are on this.
Move resolution 210-2023.
Motion by Blake,
Second.
second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. It was a tie. It's really.
Amy does it, I will.
Name shorter to write.
All right, thank you. I'm looking forward to having that public hearing so we can move that along. All right, moving on to item 8, planning and zoning items. First is the Grace Imaging Plat 1 preliminary plat and final plat at 9439 Plum Drive. And to introduce this is our Community Development Director, Steve Franklin. Steve?
Thank you and good evening all. So this is the property outlined in red here on the north side of Plum Drive that will be the subject of this. So between the interstate and Plum Drive, just west of 100th Street. This is the 100th Street intersection. So this is the property. And then the other thing that comes into play that you will see on these plans is the major drainage way that runs through this property right through there. So that's going to be part of what you will see. This item, 8.1 and 8.2 are directly related. This first item is the preliminary and final plat that will create the lot on which the building is going to get built. And then the next item I can show you here in a couple minutes will be the actual site plan. But this is preliminary and final plat. So again, here is that property. 4 total lots being created. Lot 1 is 3.54 acres up here in the corner. Lot 2 is 2.6 acres, which is over here to the east of that. Outlot Z is for detention, which is the area right here. And then there's this real funky shaped lot, Outlot Y. It's about 1.3 acres, which is a surface water flowage easement, which runs along that drainage way through there. So this is the preliminary plat. And then this is the final plat showing again those same 4 lots. Lot 1, it does come down and also include the full movement access location, which you'll see on the site plan here in just a minute. So this is all the Lot 1. This is Lot 2, again, the Outlot Z for detention, and then the surface water flowage easement. P&Z does recommend approval, subject to items noted. Be happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you, Steve. Questions for Steve on this?
There's two items here.
Well, they're separate, no, we're just voting on the, yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're right. Preliminary and final plat on this item, you're right.
Correct. Move approval of the Grace Imaging Plat 1 preliminary plat, subject to conditions.
Okay, motion by Blake,
Second.
second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Move resolution 228-2023.
Motion by Blake,
Second.
second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. That passes. All right. Moving on then to item 8.2, and that's the Grace Breast Imaging and Medical Spa Site Plan at 9439 Plum Drive. Steve?
So this is the site plan. This is probably the best drawing to show you just in terms of what it's going to look like. So Plum Drive down here, full movement access location with the turn lane. Turn lane's already there, so this will be the access location coming into the site. Again, this is the Lot 1 area, Lot 2 area, which they also own. The detention basin here, and then the surface water flowage easement through there. Does consist of a one-story building located right in there. I've got the elevations I can show you how this looks. Just under 19,000 square feet. Again, it is a medical office building. A mix of imaging services, mammography, MRI, ultrasound, things like that. This particular, the elevations that you see there are a little bit interesting. When this was rezoned back in 2008, I think, is when it was. There were some conditions of rezoning for CO uses, which this is, that qualifies for that. And for whatever reason, it was written such that it requires brick having a predominant material, which that's typical, of a red or brown coloration. I really don't know why we were still getting into the colors, but whatever, we were. So what's before you is what's proposed, and rather than brick, they're proposing to use a natural stone with some other materials, basically having a white coloration. And the way the conditions were worded, they are such that council can approve something different if you're comfortable with the colors and the materials. So before you with these elevations is what you would see, predominantly stone and some other materials, natural stone, more of a white coloration. Staff certainly has no objection to that, and planning and zoning recommends approval as well.
Is it like a limestone, Steve? Is it?
Do we know what kind of actual stone they're using, Nikki, by chance? I think, yeah, I'm asking the engineer an architectural question. The description, I believe, was just a cut stone, correct?
Cultured stone, rough cut.
Yeah. So it could be limestone. I mean, we haven't seen the architectural drawings yet. We'll be looking at that. Obviously, that's one of the things we always review when we get the building drawings.
Said cultured stone. Is that more like a concrete product?
Well, it should say natural stone, right? Or cut stone. Wasn't it cut stone?
Rough cut.
Yeah, rough cut stone, because we made a big deal with the architect of there's a difference between cultured, which is like fake stone, and natural stone. So we
Right.
made it very clear we want it to be natural stone.
Yeah, okay.
But again, that is something we always check when we get the architectural drawings in as well.
Okay.
So the assumption we're going to make is that it is a cut natural stone that will be more of a white coloration.
Do you think it's time that we update our guidelines?
Yeah, I think as part of the comp plan and going back and looking at a lot of those other types of things, we, historically have always wanted brick. And the main reasoning behind that is we wanted something that was a durable, high-quality looking material. But things have changed so much now with some of the concrete products. They're much better than they used to be. They don't fade near as much like they used to do. So yeah, that's a conversation we need.
I mean, I just remember having a lengthy conversation back in the P&Z days on some stuff on Meredith.
Right.
That wanted a modern
Right.
cutting edge with glass and,
Yep. Yep.
it looks great still. So,
And we've always said you can have as much glass as you want. It's just, what is the remaining material? Does it really need to be brick or stone, or could we allow some different things? As long as they're still portraying that image of the quality and the durability that we're looking for, I think that's definitely a conversation we could have.
Some of those are in PUDs though, so it's kind of hard to change them on a.
Right.
on a-
Correct. The old ones that are in
Citywide basis.
PUDs like this one, it says do this, but council has the ability to approve something different if they want to. Some of them are written that way. Other ones, We just need to amend the PUD to be able to use something that works okay. So it kind of varies how it's out there, but certainly there's an opportunity going forward to have that conversation about what we want to acquire.
I just want to make your life easier.
It's,
But we still may need to deal with it.
Yeah.
yeah, I think,
I mean, you said
correct.
it-
We're still going to need to deal with it just because of so much of the zoning that's out there, but we can certainly maybe at least have a conversation about establishing a new baseline going forward
Yeah.
with some things. Yeah, yep.
So I have another question. So this is medical use going in. DMOS, I believe, is a little to the east.
Yep.
Do you think we're seeing a medical use, I don't know, what's the right word I'm looking for,
Yeah,
but
there-
destination?
Yeah, there's definitely been an uptick on that. And just that whole field in general has gotten so specialized now. There's so many different people. For example, we've seen, okay, dentist, but they might all three kind of specialize in something different, even though they're a dental office. We definitely, between the building that's going up at 142nd and Douglas at the roundabout, and this building, and of course, you're all aware of what we're discussing up on North Park to the north, it does kind of seem like it's a combination of they're finding Urbandale an attractive location to locate. I think access plays a big role in this, particularly with Plum and North Park having 86th and 100th, and then just the expansion of the medical field. So yeah, we are starting to see that a little bit.
Steve, I know this isn't part of this particular plat, but do we know what they're shopping for with the other lot, with the second lot? To keep
No,
it
I know,
thematic, or-
they haven't had any conversations with us. Have they talked about that with you at all? This is Nikki Neal with CDA, who's the engineer, by the way. You probably don't have any knowledge on that.
Yeah, Nikki Neal with CDA, 4121 Northwest Urbandale Drive. So for that second lot, what they would look for is something that would really complement their use. So that's.
Probably some sort of a complementary medical use, yeah.
Is there anything that requires it to be that? Just out of curiosity.
No, the zoning is for anything that's CO, which in all doctors' offices generally fall under that. We looked at the floor plan here to make sure we could still say, yeah, that's an office use.
Okay.
So,
I just didn't want something completely weird getting
no,
jammed
that
in there.
CO zoning still applies to what's left.
Okay.
over there. So, yeah.
Awesome, thanks.
All right. That,
Move approval, council letter 7615.
motion by Blake. Second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. That passes. All right. Moving on to regular agenda items. First is item 9.1, the property acquisition for Lot 2, Casa subdivision. AJ?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. John is going to bring up a visual for you. We've had this discussion a number of times, but this is the parcel located off of Douglas Parkway at 14611 Douglas. And this is the parcel that we are purchasing was earlier purchased by the city of Waukee to accommodate their sanitary sewer project. In the discussions that we had with the city, they needed an easement for the sanitary sewer, but their arrangements with the current property owner was that they had to buy the entire parcel. The city of Urbandale has long had an interest in purchasing this parcel to complete a trail system that would go over to the east that would connect to the Bob Layton Trail. Our discussions with representatives from the city of Waukee over the last several years, we negotiated a price that we thought was fair and was within an identifiable amount that the city had set aside for possible acquisition of this property at some point in the future. The total price for the property will be $60,000, but it's broken down for $44,726 for the property and then $14,848 for the outstanding assessment. So our overall commitment for the property was what it was negotiated originally. I would also add that the city's plan for once the sanitary sewer is completed, that we will complete that trail linkage, which will include a bridge. And we did receive a REAP grant, I can't even speak tonight, I'm sorry, REAP grant that will cover the cost for those improvements. So the monies were set aside in the Capital Projects Fund, and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have on this.
I think this will make great linkage within the park to get people over to the trail that runs along the creek. So I'm excited to see this finally done.
Yep.
But I still will let Matt move approval.
Council Letter 7594.
Motion by Blake,
Second.
second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 9.2 is consider the petition and waiver for Biltmore Plat 1. And John Larson, answer any questions on this if there are any? Nine 9.2.
Move Council Letter 7610.
Motion by Blake. Second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. You guys are on a roll tonight. Very good. Somebody not voting? There we
I
go.
might not have voted.
All right, there we go. That item passes. Item 9.3 is to consider the professional service agreement for the Lions Park Spray Ground and Improvements Project Phase 2. And to introduce this is our Parks and Rec Director, Jan Herkey. Jan?
We have before you tonight, we sent out a request for bids for professional services. Just wanted to provide a quick background. I think you're all pretty familiar with the master plan that we had done last year. Involved a number of different opportunities for public input. You as a council received the master plan in October of '22, and that splash pad is under construction. Look to be opening by the summer of next year. So the next phase, and again, this is the initial phase of the master plan, and on that shows this section right here of 4 pickleball courts, a tennis court, and the 3 half basketball courts. So involved in this phase would be the removal of the current tennis courts, and the construction of a new tennis court, 4 pickleball half courts, and then amenities of lighting, sidewalks, and an additional playground area. Proposed anticipated timeline would be kickoff meeting in December, project letting in the spring, construction commencing in the fall, construction completion, and we put fall of '24 or spring of '25. A lot of times with the surfacing, we want to make sure temperatures are appropriate. So if they are not in the fall, then we would finish that surfacing in the spring of '25. We received 4 firms that sent in proposals, and the low bid is Snyder and Associates at $54,000. And based on these proposals, staff is recommending approving and selecting Snyder and Associates. Be happy to answer any questions.
So you think that construction will be more fall, so we'll have access to it, the playground, or not the playground, but the courts during the spring and summer?
It depends when they'd have to, I mean, they're going to have to take out the tennis courts as the initial phase of that. So I'd anticipate that for the fall and into spring or fall of '24, they'd be taking those out. Certainly realizing we're going to have the splash pad that's open as well. So as the phases of the development happens, will be a busy park.
Can you move back a couple of slides? You had a nice picture there that had the park with the softball field. And I don't know if we'll be reusing the presentation from last night, but you might want to put that one in there for now.
Yes, I thought we had, but good catch.
There was discussion about the softball field and our intentions with it, as you can imagine. So,
That's CIP.
yeah.
Okay.
since we don't have any real intentions with it right now, I think it's best to leave it there and not cause controversy in the community.
Yeah, and as I mentioned last night, it's a 20-year master plan. All options need to be looked at, but great point. We will change out the map. I didn't realize we had the second phase in the CIP presentation, so certainly can do that.
And just to clarify, it won't be torn down during 4th of July or?
No,
Okay.
we'll certainly make sure that everything is
Just have to be clear.
everything works around the 4th of July.
Cool. All right. Move approval, council letter 7605.
Motion by Blake,
Second.
second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 9.4 is consider the professional service agreement for the Walnut Creek Regional Park Playground. Jan.
And this is a project as discussed in the CIP. Again, a quick background in the master plan in 2018. The plan included improvements at the regional park and a recommendation of a regional playground. In 2021, the large shelter was built with the parking lot. And so we are proposing this project of the regional playground at the south end of the parking lot. Requests for proposals were sent out, and the project would include design concept, site plan, and preliminary final construction plans for a larger regional playground. So the larger regional playground would be south of the parking lot. Now, we do sometimes have a question of why wouldn't you put it next to the shelter? When the shelter is rented and there are people using the shelter, that might have a conflict of users. We will have an accessible trail that's along the parking lot for access to the shelter to the regional playground. Also proposed with this is the design of smaller play feature, again, for the renters or people that are using the shelter, as well as a smaller playground feature up by the existing small shelter north of Aurora. We do have the total project construction cost is not to exceed $630,000. So the main project with this would be the regional playground, and then any additional funds that are available. If we are able and we get great bids, then we will add these additional small play features, but the main focus will be the regional playground. And timing of this, a design kickoff meeting in December. We'll bid the project in the spring. This type of project can commence a little bit quicker, so we anticipate construction to be completed by the end of next fall. And we did receive 5 firms that submitted proposals. Confluence is the low bid and received the highest score in the review of their submittals. And therefore, we're recommending to approve Confluence for $45,500 for the design services of this project. Be happy to answer any questions.
Is there significant delay on ordering the playground equipment?
There had been previous years, some vendors do, but it's getting a little better.
So, because we let the project that would be purchasing the playground equipment in the spring and then installing it in the fall, correct? Larry and I attended the musical event that we had out there to end the season, and it was very nice. But the grass has not taken very well around the structure. It was really gnarly weeds that we were sitting in, but so hopefully maybe that's still under warranty. I don't know, probably not.
That one's past the warranty. I'm pretty sure it's past warranty. So yeah, we'll be focusing on that in the spring. Hopefully we'll have
And
a little
then
bit.
just a silly thing I thought of last night too, but maybe like we could put a sign up at the shelter, the small shelter that says, modern restrooms, like at the other, this way or
Okay.
something. I
That's a
thought
good
that
idea.
might be a a nice feature to have to direct people if they would rather use
You'd
our
like to use a flushable restroom?
fancy toilets.
That's a great idea.
All right. That, Matt, do you have a motion?
Yes, I do. Move council letter 7606.
Motion by Blake. Second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. And we really should let Adam in on some of these too.
I know.
Adam can take next meeting. Oh, it's me.
Adam gets next week.
Or you do the next meeting. All right, that item passes. Item 9.5 is consider the equipment purchase for the police department support vehicles, and to introduce this is our police chief, Chief Ron Johansson. Chief, anything to add?
Mayor, members of council, I'm here to answer any questions if you have any. Certainly go through it if you'd like.
We can find them.
Yeah, I was about to say, so are we going to be able to get these, or are we?
Yes, actually, they do have the Tahoe, and we're going to be taking delivery on that within, I think, a couple of months. So they're specific to that. For the K-9, it has to have rear air conditioning, so there's certain thing that was a little harder to get, but we did come across one at Carl, so,
Okay.
yeah, so.
We're still struggling for regular police hybrid.
Yes, yep, and especially if we wanted the hybrid, but we were able to get some hybrid escapes for the investigation division, so.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's your next item there, so.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy to move council letter 7607.
Okay, motion by Blake. Second. Second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote. For the 3 hybrids.
And this is just replacing 3 of our investigation division vehicles that we've had for some time.
That passes.
Well, then I'll move approval of council letter 7608.
Okay, motion by Blake. Second by McBurney. Discussion, please vote.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Chief. And that passes as well. All right, that takes us to the end of the agenda. Amy?
Just to bring you up to speed, we meet tomorrow for Human Service Strategic Planning for the core working group. We are working through and almost done with interviews and focus groups. I think we have maybe 3 more remaining. So some data is coming out. Nothing really overly exciting to share right at the moment. Moving forward.
Larry?
Only thing is I have my Bravo meeting tomorrow to find out what's going on with that. We had all of our submissions for grant applications, so hopefully we'll be finding out soon which organizations we're in receipt of that, and yeah, I'll report back as soon as we get more information from them.
Do we have some Urbandale organizations?
I know we do have some Urbandale organizations that submitted their application, and some that I had to bug to make sure that they got theirs in.
Right.
But yes, we did get some
That's what I
Urbandale
thought.
organizations in.
All right. Matt?
Not much other than kudos to staff on Miracle on 86th Street. It was very, very well done. I've heard only compliments about it. Excited to see that continue to grow.
I will reiterate that. That was great kickoff, great turnout. I was for a little bit chilly, but not too bad. And lots of compliments on the gingerbread house. The Urbandale Historical Society open house, a holiday open house is Sunday from 2 to 4. The CIP committee completed their review of the CIP document last night with no changes. There will be a strong suggestion to council to spend more money in the future on stormwater improvements, but you can act surprised when that comes down the pike. And then I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on DART. If you've seen in the news, the budget for DART is tenuous at best right now for the next few years. I mean, the immediate right now, we're okay for this year. And so we're looking at a 40% service cut if the city of Des Moines does not pass a 2.5 cent franchise fee. If you remember, we had hoped the legislature would initially, our ask was for a local option hotel motel tax. And we were given instead the opportunity for communities over 200,000 to implement a franchise fee to pay for transit. So that means just the city of Des Moines. So, and there, as you know, was quite a bit of turnover on the Des Moines Council, not turnover, but changing of the guard. And so over the next couple months, DART is doing a public outreach campaign to hopefully inform the public, inform decision makers about the importance of DART in an attempt to encourage the elected officials in Des Moines to approve the franchise fee increase, which is a huge lift for them to ask them, but that's really the only option that we have right now. And the belief is that the legislature will not give us any other options if Des Moines doesn't take advantage of the franchise fee that was given to them to help fund their DART obligation. Over the next couple of weeks, there are public meetings. There's one this Thursday that I'm planning to attend at the Northwest Community Center. And I'll forward this on to you all. There's a virtual meeting on Friday at noon, and then for those of you that are downtown, on the 6th, there's an open house at DART Central Station, and then basically there's one in every ward, and I can send the list on to all of you. I would appreciate, if you have the time and the desire to attend in your capacity as a city council member, and talk to people about the importance of public transit in getting people to jobs, job training, education, healthcare, housing, you name it. A 40% service cut is going to be significant. And then, that is 40% focused on Des Moines. And if you take away that 40%, it's really hard to get to the suburbs. So that's where we come in. And speaking of suburbs, Grimes is submitting their letter of intent to withdraw from DART at their council meeting this evening. So that is a whole nother issue that we have to deal with, and hopefully that won't be the beginning of a domino effect of other communities. So I apologize for the length of my comments, but there is a lot going on right now with DART, and if you have the capacity and the desire, we could use all the support, sharing social media posts, giving your own testimonials, anything that you're willing to chip in, because this is a very pivotal moment in the metro for public transit. So sorry for that downer. I think, though, the Waukee girls swim team, since we had our last meeting, won state for the 3rd time in a row. So congratulations to those girls.
Thank you. Adam?
Just want to thank Bridget for stepping in last night on the CIP and running the meeting. And nobody wanted to be in the same room with me last night or today. And so I appreciate her stepping in.
Not a problem.
We hope you're on the mend. So, all right, I just have a couple items related to metro organizations with regard to MPO. Tomorrow, we'll be interviewing the consultant to help us with the search on that, and hopefully get that kicked off. Where our goal is to get somebody in place very soon. So we're gonna kick that off and hopefully get some finalists that we can review and get somebody in that position by first part of the year, so. Also, there will be a national summit on civility. I think, AJ, thanks for sending that out. I don't know. I was asked by the League of Cities and by Scott Racker to participate in that. So it's a webinar if you're interested. But that'll be next Wednesday. It's an all-day seminar, but you probably don't want to be on it all day. But there's going to be some good parts of it. Not my part, but it'll be. Secretary Vilsack is going to be speaking, and there's some other good national speakers. So if you're interested, I can send the agenda.
Just do parts of it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just a webinar, so you can just kind of come and go as you want.
Come and
so.
go as you please.
Yeah.
We can check that.
Yeah, I don't think there's any cost for it either, or maybe a nominal cost. but-
If it was, it would be nominal. That would be something that,
Can you send that out again? I remember
Yeah.
trying to open the link and not really understanding it.
okay, we'll send
I
it out
think
tomorrow.
maybe the part that it was a webinar was the part that escaped me. I
Yeah.
was like, where is
Nope.
This is the second year that they've done this. It's been a collaboration between the Ray Center and with the League of Cities. And also the National League of Cities. So again, it's a national event. So they will have the National League of Cities executive director speaking as well as part of that. So, and again, and Secretary Vilsack as well, so. That's all I have.